So yesterday we saw what happened. The President of the United States exonerated earlier in the week, and then he decided to get everybody together at noon at his place and go ahead and tell everyone how he felt. He felt that he's been unfairly skewered by the Mueller report, by the FBI, by James Comey, then with the whole Ukraine, what he called the Ukraine hoax. He said it's been extremely tough on his family. And he went after everybody that went after him. But by the way, so did Nancy Pelosi, went after the president nonstop, and the Republicans that supported him. But for some reason, the only thing people talk about is how the president went after his adversaries. Let's listen to them both.
These people have gone stone cold crazy.
The whole State of the Union was beneath the dignity of the White House. It looked to me like he was a little sedated.
These are vicious people.
A state of mind that had no contact with reality whatsoever.
They stick together. Historically, I'm not talking now. They stick together like glue.
You're impeached forever. You're never getting rid of that scar.
It was evil. It was corrupt. It was dirty cops. It was leakers and liars.
We will continue to do our oversight to protect and defend the Constitution, but those cases still exist. If there are others that we see as an opportunity, we'll make a judgment at that time.
I've beaten them all my life, and I'll beat them again if I have to. But what they're doing is very unfair. Very unfair.
Well, that's good to know that after the impeachment, everything is getting back to normal in Washington. Like, just kidding, tongue-in-cheek. Geraldo Rivera, Fox News correspondent-at-large, joins us from Cleveland.
Everybody.
Hey,
hi, Ainsley.
I like the red.
We're red today.
Yep.
If people are just getting dressed. Hey, Geraldo, after a very bitter 5 months of impeachment back and forth, we saw after the president was acquitted, nothing's going to change.
Well, it certainly seems, Steve, as if there's not going to be any forgiving and forgetting. This is kind of the post-impeachment apocalypse phase we're going through now. The Speaker of the House and the President of the United States vying to see who can cut the other one deeper and lower. It's kind of shocking. It's depressing. It is where we are, though. I mean, when she shredded the State of the Union, that was such a blatant and kind of a mean girl kind of thing to do. I don't know if the president saw her, but he certainly unleashed on her the next day, calling her the embodiment of everything evil and all the other horrible, liars, leakers, and all the rest of it. Which I understand the president's frustration. I just urge both of them to grow up. With all due respect, we have a country to run here. We get it that there's a lot of bitter feelings. There was a constitutional process. I think that it was rigged in the sense that the impeachment itself was a purely Democratic, engineered, purely partisan play. Yeah. The Democrats impeached the president because they could. The Republicans acquitted the president because they could. And now we are where everyone predicted we would be. The thing would act out. Nothing would change. And then we'll go forward with even more acrimony and more dysfunction.
You know what's getting to her, Nancy Pelosi? She's not only losing, she's losing a reputation of a master tactician, because almost everything she's done over the last few months has blown up, and now they find themselves with an empowered president, a motivated Republican Party whose also approval ratings are going up, and now Kevin McCarthy legitimately has a quest and a national referendum to go try to get the House back. But here's Nancy Pelosi, who said she had no choice but to rip up the script from the president's speech because it was so inaccurate. For example, on the economy.
The fact is, he did not inherit a mess. He inherited a momentum of growth in our economy. And many more statistics are in what I hope you will read, because it was appalling to hear him try to take credit for something that and call what the President Obama did a mess that he inherited, when in fact it was a great advantage to the country that President Obama's policies took us to that very positive place of growth and of job creation and deficit reduction.
Well, she's got to spin it some way. That's some pretty good spin, Geraldo.
Yeah, but at what point does the Obama presidency end? I mean,
Yeah.
come on. The stock market's gained 10,000 points since President Obama. Unemployment is slashed in half since President Obama. Most noteworthy, unemployment among black and brown Americans is now at historic lows. So come on, we've got to give credit where credit is due. You know, I have to say about I try to be even-handed, and I think there's a lot to admire about Nancy Pelosi. She's feisty, she's independent, she's smart, she's sharp, she doesn't back down. I like all of that. But she has a deep-seated hatred, it seems to me, of this president that has affected and infected every aspect and every day of his presidency. They have been after him. They have attacked him from the day he came down that escalator. They've been trying to kill him.
That's what he said yesterday.
And then to try to impose the death penalty for that lame Ukraine nonsense, I think was really way overreached and bad for the country.
Geraldo, I think that's the president's message. I think he's saying, look, I've had disagreements in the past. I could get along with the Democrats. Nancy and I could do a lot together for this country. But instead, since day one, she's wanted to impeach. And now she's hating him. But then if you say that she hates him, which it seems obvious to everyone that she does, she says, no, I'm a Catholic, I don't hate anyone. And then she uses the prayer thing. The president's never declared that he's the strongest Christian out there. In fact, yesterday he said, I make a lot of mistakes. But he said there was nothing wrong with this conversation. But Nancy does preach that she goes to Mass, and then she's ripping that thing up. So I understand the president's frustration.
Well, I don't like people that hide behind their religion when it generates bad manners.
Exactly.
You know, the president attacked Mitt Romney full bore. Now, I don't know Mitt Romney very well. I've been with him, as all of us have, over the years several times. He has always seemed to be a man of faith. However, I don't know a lot about his religion, but he seems sincerely attached to it. When he claimed that he was voting on that one article of impeachment to convict the president, he said it was faith-driven, and he did it only after long and sincere probing of himself and his soul and his prayerfulness. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. You know, unlike the president and me, Mitt Romney seems to have towed the line regarding his religion. In terms of Nancy Pelosi and her religion and not hating on the president, you know, proof's in the pudding to a certain extent. If all you have toward the other person is a steady stream of negativity and hostility and confrontation, you know, at some point you've got to say, you know, where is the charity here? Where is the compassion? Where is the faith-based, you know, demeanor? Because I don't see it.
Yeah, sometimes your spiritual life, your soul does not coordinate with your political agenda, as we have seen quite vividly this past week. Geraldo, thank you very much for joining us from Cleveland.
Thanks, Geraldo.
Have a great weekend.